Now, regardless of your political affiliation, I once read that George Bush Sr. wrote hand notes to every single person that he met. And I remember reading this, and he would have already been president, and I thought to myself, no way. This guy traveled the nation, traveled the world. I mean, how is it possible that he wrote so many hand notes? I'm going to assume, and I don't know this for a fact, I'm going to assume he started at some point doing them himself, and then eventually that went on to becoming an automated system where his staff would write the notes once he received the information. However, it doesn't matter, because he connected with people on a personal level, and that allowed him to get all the way up to the presidency. And I didn't believe this until one day I walked into a lady's office who owns a real estate school, and we're having a conversation, and I looked on her wall, and no kidding, there's a note from George Bush Sr. And I said, is that note from George Bush? She says, yes, it is. I met him one time at a Republican rally, and I gave him my business card. I told him where he could find me if he needed anything, and a week later I received this note card. So think about how powerful that is. If you take a moment and you write a note card to every single person that you meet, how much more of a presence would you have in that person's life other than text, email, phone calls? But now this is personalized. This is you taking the time to put ink on a note card and send it out. Does a note card need to be fancy? Absolutely not. Go to Michael's or Amazon or any of these places and buy 100 note cards for $5.99. I don't care what you spend on it. It doesn't even have to have pictures. It doesn't need to say anything. It just needs to be a square with an envelope. And you just write on there and send notes to people. It was an absolute pleasure meeting you for coffee the other day. Thank you for everything. Think about that type of follow-up. Once you have that system in place, right? You meet somebody, you get their business card, you put them in your email blast, you put them in your text blast, you make a phone call to them a couple times a month, you consistently follow up with them, you call them and say, is it okay if I stop by for 15 minutes of coffee? You follow up with a note card saying, thank you for taking the time to have coffee with me. I mean, think about the advantage that you would have amongst everyone else in your industry.